For many of us, it's so difficult to shake things off when they are personal.
Everything has time. Everything has at least 24 hours time. So I sleep over it. It was a really very difficult time for me. It was a time when I felt that somebody pulled the rug under my feet and the wind was taken out of my sails and my life.
Hosted by Gabriella Vacca, you're listening to the Eve Careers podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Gabriella Vacca, and welcome to the next episode of The Reality of Women at Work. This is where we have a raw conversation, really authentic conversations about women in the workplace. I'm a founding advisor and an ambassador for Eve Career. Let me introduce the special guest that we have today, and I'm so excited because Barbara is both a friend and a person who I admire tremendously for her ability to really shake it off, which is the subject for today's episode. So Barbara Klinkhammer, but she's is the Dean and Professor of the College of Architecture and the Built Environment at Thomas Jefferson University here in Philadelphia. She also served as the UNESCO co-chair for Smart, Healthy and Learning Cities. And at Jefferson, she co-founded the Jefferson Institute for Smart and Healthy Cities and established Smart Lab at Jefferson. So finally, Barbara serves currently as a president of the Architectural Research Center Consortium. So she's certainly a busy woman. Barbara, thank you so much for sharing your time and your insight with us.
Thank you, Grabby. I'm thrilled to be here with you.
Awesome.
Great pleasure.
Okay, so let's dive in, right? So we are talking today about the power, the superpower that we need to have about shaking this off. And as I said in my intro, I admire you for that, for your ability to move on. So is this how did you get to that, train that muscle, right? That leadership muscle. How did it happen? Were you born with it? Or what did you do in your life to get to this point?
Gabby, thank you. First off, I'm really thrilled to be here with you. So this is a wonderful conversation between two great friends, and I think two women who have set their mark in society. So I'm thrilled to be here to share my insights today. I was certainly not born with these traits. I think that a lot of this is, maybe some of it is genetic, maybe some of it is, part of your personality, but I think a lot of it can also be learned, right? So I came from a family with four siblings. I'm the oldest, so certainly I think part of me always wanting to be in a leadership role or wanting to be at the front of the tribe has a lot to do with how I grew up, and so I don't want to deny that, right? But at the same time, I think that a lot of these abilities or capabilities of me to be able to be resilient, a resilient person that can stand up again after failure, I think is something that I've learned in life. I think, first of all, what you really need to be doing is you can't be afraid of failure. Failure is part of life. That's how you learn. That's how you move forward. I think that's the first thing that people will need to do, and that I learned in my life, is really embracing that we make mistakes, that we're not born with the ability to just, shake off something that went wrong, or pass and plow a way forward to make it right. So that's something that you learn over time, and you have to gain the confidence to do that. I think that confidence building is a big part, and being surrounded by people that put that confidence in you. I think that's another one that I think is really important. And I was very fortunate to have that. I had a father who really believed in me, who gave me that belief and confidence in myself to get up after you fall. I think I'm pulling this from another area. I was a very athletic person when I was young. I still love sports. I don't do it anymore like I used to do, but I think sports also teach you failures and to get up again. think it's maybe the best part of any kind of sport that you do in a competitive environment that you have to learn to deal with that you didn't come in first, second, or
Yeah.
third. You might have been at the end, right? And you have to really make your way up. So,
Yeah.
and to not give up, to continue. I think this is a big part of who I am today, that I was, that I had these opportunities to learn and to, as I grew into my leadership position, to really have opportunities to learn how to build that repertoire of getting up after you
Yeah.
fall and shaking it
And,
off and move
and
on.
Barbara, in the work environment, did first of all, was this ability to shake this off recognized? And if so, did anybody think that you were almost, you detached too soon? The reason I'm asking this question is that I think that a lot of us um, hang on too long, almost because unconsciously we want other people to know that we care about that issue, that problem, that we take a responsibility. So what is in your in the work environment that you have been exposed to, did anybody feel a sense of detachment, or they saw this really as a superpower, or maybe they didn't even see it at all? Who knows?
I mean, I'm not sure that people see that as my superpower. I think it is a superpower when you have that, right? So,
Yeah.
um, it's how you're seen by others is maybe the manifests itself maybe in how long you can stay in a job, right? And so before you
Good
have to move
point.
on. So I've been in my job for a very long time. And I think that my colleagues really respect me for the very reasons who I am, right? Somebody who really cares for others deeply, but at the same time also acknowledges that you can't dwell on a problem forever, right? So you have to, while I think empathy is a really big part of who I am and what is necessary in the work environment, it's also that you understand what are the circumstances around you and what drives the organization or the society in which you live. I think there's it's kind of this dialectic relationship between caring for others, making sure others are okay in your organization that you lead, but also looking at the organization itself and making sure that the
Hmm,
organization is
I
okay.
see.
So I think you have to really be able to balance the two in order to move forward.
Hmm. And the, you know, one thing is to shake this off in a work environment because some problem happened. But I know we're friends, right? So I know that something personal happened to you, which you don't have to share at all, but something personal in our life happens to all of us, right? It's not
Mhm.
just a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If you live your life to the fullest, you have people you care about, and you can get sick yourself or someone that you care, and so on. For many of us, it's so difficult to shake things off when they are personal. But you have been able to do it, even for personal matters that really make you suffer.
Yeah, I think that is very true. I think there are these two worlds, right? One is our world in which we work and where we lead a group of people for an organization, and the other one is our personal lives, right? And we will have challenges in both. So you're right. You know me very well. I think I'm okay to share that I lost 4 years ago my father and my sister in the same year, my sister to breast cancer. And it was a really very difficult time for me. It was a time when I felt that somebody pulled the rug under my feet and the wind was taken out of my sails in my life. So it was really this moment when I had to reset, rethink, move forward. And I think what drives me both in personal challenges and with challenges at work is that I'm a very optimistic person, as you know, Gabri. I'm trying to, whatever I do, whatever challenges I'm facing, I'm always trying to look at the positive side and at what is the opportunity that that I can use to move forward, right? How can I, even the death of my sister, there was still the beauty in it that I spent a lot of time with her, that I made all these memories with her for years. We knew that this moment was going to come. And those memories do stay with me and they help me to get out of it. So I paved a path at that time, and I knew that inevitably this was going to come. That I knew I would get out of that despite the grief, despite this feeling of somebody really taking the ground away under my feet, that I could move forward. And I think this more positive thinking of when challenges arise in life, real challenges. It's the that I'm looking forward. I'm looking either at trying to find an opportunity, trying to change perspective, right? And look at something that happens from a 360-degree angle, from all sides, right? Almost like an object that you have in your hands.
Mhm.
And so that I can look at this, the perspective really changes how you look at things and how you learn to move forward.
Yes.
So I learned this while you do know I'm an avid biker. I'm a mountain biker. I'm a hiker. I love the mountains. I love the Alps. And this is really where just my heart goes out, right? So I'm there. That's my happy place. And but I also like it because when my husband and I are both in the Alps biking, I love this moment of changing perspectives, of seeing something from the valley and really being in the detail, in in the thickness of it, and then moving up to the top of a mountain or the top of a road at 2,000, 3,000 meters or 5, 6,000 feet, and you're looking down and you're seeing that the world really changes. You have
Mm,
a very different perspective of this,
very
and
nice.
I think that realization really helps me to go through a lot of difficult moments in my life that are challenging, where I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at this from a different perspective and see whether I can chart a path forward.
Last episode, Rose and I talked about the soft skills and the EQ, the emotional intelligence being the superpower, right? And really a need for leaders today. And if
Mhm.
now, you're making me connect the dots between the two because shaking this off and finding ways to shaking it off means to basically recover your emotional intelligence. So we're talking about an emotional recovery, right? And for you going to the mountains and biking up as I mean I love the symbolism. Is there any other thing that you do to constantly keep the discipline of looking at the glass half full? What else? What other suggestion can you give? Not everybody is a trained, biker the way you and Edgar are. So anything else that is more, feasible for someone like me, who is a kind of an average poor person,
Well, you will be able to go up a tower or
maybe.
something like that to change perspective. I would assume to literally do that, right? Yeah, I think that this it is being able to recover, being able to look forward and see a path forward is really the trick, right?
Mhm.
So in challenging situations, I mean, I have two really simple things that I do at work, right?
Yeah,
So, for example, a challenging situation where I don't know, where my emotions overwhelm me, right? Oftentimes personnel related issues, right? Where
yeah.
you really have to stay cool. You have to be sure that you make a decision that is based on rational decision, not on your emotions. So one thing that I do always, everything has time. Everything has at least 24 hours time. So I sleep over it. I
Huh.
churn through it,
Yeah.
and it's a way to just get my own emotions down and to look at something in a much more rational way the next day. So I often, when I respond emails, is something that I think we all know can trigger a lot of these negative emotions. And I would respond that night, but I don't send it. I wait
Yeah,
until the
yeah,
next morning and I
very
look at it
important.
again.
And we talked about, and this is today for all the audience that we have today, the ability to respond and not react, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
think through and then decide what is the best response you can give a situation. Awesome.
Exactly. But there's a
Barbara,
second path for
yeah,
me. So
please.
let me just finish that one as well. So in challenging situations, I always work and having a plan B and a plan C.
Ha,
I always do that. So, I mean, it's my habit, right? So when I know I have to make a very challenging decision or I'm facing a challenging decision from somebody else that I have to accept because it's, my boss who's saying this, or it's a political situation that requires it, or it's something else that where I know there's no other way than accepting it, which I might see as a failure of myself, where I will have to move forward. I always plan I always have a plan B,
yeah,
and
I
I
do.
often have a plan C. So that way I know that when I get that no from somebody,
Yeah,
right, I can shake it off literally because I do know I have another option. That option might not be as good as option A, but there is another option that moves forward. And sometimes that other option turns into a much better one.
yeah, 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 yeah. Wonderful. Love it. Love it. Good. We are unfortunately pressured for time. So first of all, I wanted to thank you very much for being so authentic. And I had no doubt when I send you that email about, are you interested in having an interview with me? And I would like to, remind really all people listening to us that we need to be intentional about shaking this off. We need to we need to have an elevator view of what's happening with Plan B and Plan C's. We need to really be careful about our emotional recovery and find our own way to replenish that emotional bank account that we all have. Important, even if biking in the mountains may be quite challenging, but who knows, maybe that's a good push for some of us who are up to it. Thank you again. Please remember to share this episode with with people in your network, other women in your network, and not only. Give us a like, give us feedback, because as you know, we want to grow this community together. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you all.
Thank you, Gabby, for having me.